Hi there. There's a quote or a conversation I was eavesdropping on this week, and it ended by saying, don't pray for God to change your situation. Instead, ask Him to work on your heart. Because when He works on your heart, you can then almost handle anything that life throws at you. That is a conversation we're having on Unscripted today from right here at our beautiful location, Radisson Blu in Arboretum. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Brenda Akinyi, and I would want to wish anyone who is probably going through a difficult moment, a difficult phase in their lives. I want to first of all wish you the very best into a process of recovery, for instance. And I would just like to encourage you that it's not over until God says it's over. If you have life, you're still breathing, know that you still have a lot at stake for you to serve your purpose. So get up every morning, find your why, and get moving. It's never lost. A lot is at stake, as I've just said, that you need to find the main reason as to why you do wake up, you do whatever you're doing. There's so many avenues for you. Meet people, positive people, have positive vibe, welcome positive energy, and shun off negative energy. So take good care of yourselves at home. Feel free to talk, to reach out to whoever you wish to reach out to be able to help you recover and forge ahead. Thank you.
Hi there, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for making time for us. As always, we truly appreciate your viewership. Now today the conversation, like we say all the time, and I'm sure you know, Unscripted is about moments in our life that throw us off course, and we discuss how we sort of overcome and heal through that journey. And with me is Brenda, a beautiful guest. Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you for making time for us to share your story. I know it's not an easy one. So before we get into it, you can introduce yourself to people at home, tell them who you are and what you'd like them to know about you.
My name is Brenda Akinyi. I'm an educator.
Okay.
A linguistic student.
Great.
From Kenyatta University.
All right.
I'm a wife. Yes, and I've done lots of things in my life.
All right.
And I would just love to share my story shortly.
Okay.
So that one of us back at home probably would realize that there are those turning points, situations and circumstances that might throw us off the balance, but you can still get up on your feet and get moving. And
be here to share your story to help the next person. So take us back 2 years ago, 2019, where life changed for you very drastically. What happened?
My husband and I had just arrived in the country, 2019 December.
Okay.
At that time, I had not seen my family for close to 1.5 years. So I was looking forward to coming home.
Of course.
Especially to see my mom, being an only girl in a family of boys.
Yeah. So
that was a great moment for me. And we had planned lots of things with my mom. And of course, I had lots of gifts for her too. So we arrived and I had some unfinished business with Kenyatta University. Okay. So she advised me to stay behind for close to a week so that I sort out my issues. And then of course we drive home and see her. Okay. So on 31st of 2019 at around 8 p.m. I received a call from my dad, and he wasn't sounding the usual way he does whenever he calls. Okay. So he sounded a bit stressed. And then he told me, you know, we were just having dinner and your mommy collapsed. Kind of, she choked. Okay. And the situation here is not so good because she's quite unconscious and she hasn't spoken for close to 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
so it took some time before you made the call?
Exactly.
Just to try and resuscitate or?
Yes, yes. And of course, I was the last one who was given the call.
Really?
Yeah. So my husband, my brother and I set off at 4 a.m. because we couldn't sleep. We kept calling and asking my dad, is there any improvement? And the answer was more or less the same. Your mom hasn't spoken a word. She's still here, but the doctors are trying their best to work on her. So we managed to arrive at the hospital, the first hospital that she was taken to get some first aid. And of course we found her. At that time she was able to probably recognize us a bit because she smiled on seeing us. Yeah, but she wasn't talking. So when we talked to the doctors, like, what exactly is the problem? And they told us, you know, let's give her 2 more days. If she doesn't have so much changes, then we're going to recommend a transfer to another hospital that has probably better facilities.
And all this is just from choking?
Yeah.
There was nothing prior that was wrong?
She had only complained of a little bit of some flu. And of course, she had taken meds over the counter to manage the flu, but it wasn't that bad. So all this was precisely out of choking.
Really?
Yes. So 2 days there was no major changes. She couldn't walk. Actually, yeah, she couldn't walk. Her feet couldn't, you know, manage to support her.
Did she react to something?
Up to that particular point, yes, those are some of the questions we were asking ourselves. We Googled, we were asking ourselves, yeah, we asked almost all friends that we knew who had some medical background, and all they could say is that the first thing we need to do is to find out what's in her throat, because she wasn't able to eat.
I see.
Yes. So we had to get transferred to Avenue Hospital, Kisumu, and of course, from the first doctor's examination, she recommended, I remember her, she's called Christine, she recommended an endoscopy to be done on her immediately so that we find out what the problem is, because like almost 4 days not eating, that was draining her. So an endoscopy was done.
What did they find?
Nothing. Yes.
Yet she can't talk,
she can't talk,
eat,
she can't
walk.
Can't walk.
All from choking?
Yes.
This is also peculiar. Did you get a second opinion, a third opinion?
We at some point,
an expert from somewhere.
At some point within a week of her stay in the hospital, now we began to, of course, start looking for other ways and means of getting a clue to all these mysterious things.
Mysterious is the word.
Yes. Yeah. It was so pretty mysterious because 1 week in that hospital there was still no diagnosis.
How bad did it get?
It got bad because after 2 weeks she became psychotic. Literally, I would say mad.
Really?
Yes. And the things she was saying were quite incoherent. Like, she would, of course, she had a sister, one of my aunts that she loved so much, but she had passed on. So she started, you know, talking to her. Yeah. And, you know, asking her, I'm almost coming to you.
Did you have a psychologist to weigh in?
Exactly. So we recommended for a psychologist to be called in to just check if there's a problem. And we got a doctor from Aga Khan Hospital who checked her up. And of course, there was nothing.
Really?
Yes.
So when all this is happening, first of all, you've been away for so long.
Yes.
It's the first time you're seeing your mom.
Yes.
And this is how you're seeing her.
Exactly.
How are you dealing with this?
One of the things my parents taught me as a young girl was the power of prayer. That has always been my pillar. Because the first time I saw my mom, my first reaction, I just told her, Mommy, we have to pray. Yeah, because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it wasn't making sense.
And actually, up to that point, I knew she was going to get well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were hopeful?
Yeah, I told her, you know, this is just a passing cloud. Yeah. Probably you're shocked because you've never visited a hospital. You know, I'm talking to her and she's literally not getting me. She's saying her own things. At some point, she became very aggressive and she had to be taken to an isolation room and be tied on the bed. Yeah, and she developed bed sores. So, unfortunately, out of the bed sores, I remember, like after a month of her stay in that hospital, we were contemplating on, you know, transferring her to another hospital, or rather even just taking her home, probably because we thought maybe the hospital environment is worsening things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, did anything happen at the hospital? How long was she hospitalized?
1 month. I would say 1 month, yeah.
And every day she would get worse?
Exactly.
And they were finding nothing?
From psychosis, she went now to bed sores. So the bed sores, that's precisely, I would say, what caused her death. Because on Tuesday of her demise, my sister-in-law, one of my sisters-in-law had lost a son, I think 1 week to my mother's demise. And so on that Tuesday, we were traveling from Nairobi with my husband. And I just remember that on Sunday before Tuesday, because I was operating from Nairobi to seeing my mom. So on Sunday, I had seen her and I had promised her that I'm going to come back on Tuesday and I'm going to take her out of the hospital, together with my siblings. So on that Sunday, she never talked. She never behaved like she can recognize me. Oh, wow. She was quiet all along. She would just look at me. Yeah, I felt something was off. I felt something was off. Yeah.
When your mom can recognize you,
I cried. I became quite emotional, and the nurses were telling me, she's not supposed to see you crying. This would probably interfere with her recovery process and all that. It's like, I just can't take this because this is too much for me, for one person. But I kept the hope that she's gonna get well. Yeah. So what I did on that Sunday, I went back home and something happened.
What happened?
I packed all her stuff, put them together in her wardrobe, and locked it up.
Just out of had the instinct to do that?
Yes. So why I was doing that from a human perspective is that I was trying to lessen our house help's work in case we bring mom home. So she doesn't have to look for things wherever they are.
I see.
Yeah. So if she needs something, that definitely. I even labeled. I labeled her clothes.
So I didn't know. Preparing for mom to come back home.
Yes, I didn't know that was the last time I was seeing my mom.
Tell me about the last time you saw her.
That was the last time. The last time I saw her, she wasn't able to talk to me now. And she was just staring at me, She would stare at me like 3 minutes without blinking. And she would blink like once. And I would talk to her. So I broke down, of course. And I told the nurses, I think something is off, but it's going to get well. So I left for Nairobi that particular day. And then we were supposed to come back on Tuesday. I go bereave my sister-in-law and then go to Kisumu and try to, find ways of taking mom home. I didn't want her to go, that hospital feeling. I never wanted to.
You didn't want to leave her there?
Yeah, I didn't want to leave her there.
That's when the worst happened?
Yes.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Brenda, your story is one that, doesn't feel like that's a lot for one person to take in such a short amount of time.
It's true.
So in a month, mom is hospitalized, she's getting worse by the day, and it's unexplainable, mysterious, like you put it. And then on that fateful day, mom passed. Take us to that day and what happened.
Okay, on Tuesday, February 2020, we had set off to Bungoma to go bereave one of my sisters who had lost, sisters-in-law, who had lost the son. So something happened. Along the way, because we left Nairobi quite early, around 9 a.m. in the morning, my phone just went off.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would my phone go off at this particular point in time?
It's not a battery issue?
No. Actually, it was a new phone. Yeah, it was a new phone. So I never bothered. But by the time it was going off, I was receiving a call. Yeah, so I never managed to, of course, pick it up. Yes. So we traveled all the way. Of course, I was quite excited. I was actually telling my husband, this is going to be a great news to my mom because we're taking her home. And life after that, I won't mind babysitting my mama. Yeah, I won't mind as long as she's out of the hospital. I want to see her back home. I believe home environment is going to be quite positive for her. So those are some of the stories we were making along the way. My mom had passed on at 8 a.m.
And you had no idea?
I had no idea. Yeah. So around, we arrived Bungoma around 5 p.m. in the evening, and my brother calls my husband, asks him, we can't find Brenda on phone from morning. What's up? And then, of course, he tells my brother that no, we were on the way. I was driving, she's fine, she's here. Would you wish to talk to her? And then my brother says no. But in the background, you could hear wailing. People were crying in the background. And I think he figured out the worst has happened.
Yeah.
Yes. So my brother confirmed to him that, yeah, we lost mommy in the morning. Unfortunately, she's the last one who's not known. I don't know how you're going to break the news to her. And then my husband cut the phone.
What did he do?
So
How did he tell you?
we kept telling stories.
Oh, he said nothing?
No, he said nothing. He was figuring out how he's going to break the news to me.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we arrived at my sister's in-law's home, he broke the news to the sister. The worst has happened to Brenda. She's lost her mom, but she still doesn't know. Now my instincts, I felt something was off.
Yeah.
Because my sister-in-law just came and hugged me,
yeah,
you know.
Sure.
She hugged me and I could feel she was shaking.
Oh, no.
And so I knew something was off. And then I became a little bit wild and I wanted to, I just asked my hubby,
What's going on?
Mato, what's up? There's something off. And then he's like, no. I want you to sit in the car. Wait for me a minute. I want to take you out for a drive. And it was in the evening. Would you mind knowing Bungoma? I'm like, oh yeah, of course. I would wish to, But inwardly, I felt something was off.
Yeah.
And then we started driving. And then my phone from nowhere was now on. Yeah. And then my dad calls. And then my hubby tells me, don't pick. I want to talk to you. Yeah. He parks the car. It was almost raining. He parks the car alongside the road. And then I asked him, actually, it's like we're heading to Kisumu. Then he's like telling me, of course, this is what you wanted. I want to drive you to Kisumu to go see mom. And then he parked the car and he told me, he asked me, I love you very much. I told him, yeah, of course I know. What's up? And then he tells me, the worst has happened. You've lost mommy. Wow. I couldn't believe what he said. And the only person I could believe at this particular point was my dad. So I had to call him. Yes, I told him, no, I need my phone. I need to call my daddy. When I called my daddy, of course, I had everybody, people were wailing in the background. So I knew, yeah, this has happened. So my dad picked.
Yeah.
And I asked him, is it true? Mommy has left me. Yes. And he told me, yes, my daughter, she's gone.
You said mommy has left
Yeah,
me.
I asked him, how could, we were like best friends. So how do you just leave your friend without notice, Yeah. So I went into a moment of confusion at first. I was wailing, of course. And then my husband drove. He still recollects that particular episode. I can't remember what I did, but he still recollects. And he's able to recall. He says that was the longest time he's ever had because I was crying all through. It was raining. I told him the first stop should be at Avenue Hospital.
Keep going.
Keep going. It was around 9 p.m. now. Yeah. So he's like asking me, what do you want to go to do now? I told him, I want to see my mommy, of course.
What's the hardest, from your experience, hardest thing about losing a mother?
I'm telling you, I think it all depends with the kind of relationship you have.
That's true.
With your mom. For mine, we were more than best friends. Okay. Yes, we were great friends, and I did so much for her as a daughter, and I had so much expectations, and there's so many things I wanted her to witness before she passes on. Yes.
Get it.
Yeah. So, but one thing that gave me strength, something happened because I insisted on us reaching the hospital. When we arrived, I went to her bed. Of course, it was now, there was a different patient on her bed. And so I told the nurses, the first thing, my first healing process is me seeing my mom.
Really?
Yes. I needed to see her in the morgue.
Yikes.
And my husband thought, he couldn't believe it. He asked me, are you sure you want to do this? I told him, yeah, I want to do this. This was my best friend. I'm not going to leave her. I have to see her.
How was it when you saw her?
It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. But when I saw her, I cried and I told her, Mommy, let's pray.
Wow. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What did you talk to God about it?
I told God, thank you for giving me a gift of a mom up to the age of 62 years. And on her behalf, I want to ask you for forgiveness. If she never served her purpose on earth, accept her in heaven. Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. So after that, I gathered some energy. I stopped crying. So like I don't know. I think
accepted.
Yes, God did something in my heart that made me accept the situation. I accepted. Now I wiped my tears. I told my hubby, now we can go. Let's go find somewhere to rest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a story. Because I know the feeling of having to confirm and seeing that person.
Exactly.
It's the hardest thing you'll ever do.
It is.
And it takes a while to forget that image.
It does.
So for you, how has your grieving journey been? I know it's 2 years now.
Yeah, it's 2 years. I grieved at first. Actually, I approached it from a different dimension.
Okay.
I approached it from a spiritual dimension first, because God was the only person I knew was going to take me through this journey. I had never experienced death in my family, actually. So Mom was introducing me to this particular rite of passage. You understand? Yes. So I prayed a lot. I told God, I can't manage grieving. I don't know how to live without a mom. Yes. So immediately after her burial, we took some off with my husband. He took me out. Yeah, we went somewhere. We stayed for close to 2 weeks. Okay. Yes, for close to 2 weeks with my phone off.
Oh, okay.
I needed myself. And that's how I usually deal with difficult situations. I reset.
I see.
Yes.
That's very wise.
Yes.
And you have a book here for a reason. You told me this book helped you during that journey. What lessons did you learn from?
Find Your Why, Simon Sinek. I started reading at a pretty tender age. I loved to read, but I didn't know the purpose of reading. Sometimes I would just read for interest, you know. But now, after having grown up, and my mom's death brought a new beginning. I started reading for purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
What did you learn in this book?
I learned so much. One of the things I learned in this book is that there is a reason for you living. There's a reason for somebody else living as, you know. Like in this case, my mom left. She had served her purpose. Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
alive.
The hardest part to accept, but
exactly.
Yes.
I'm alive. I have to serve my purpose until God decides that now I think it's time for you to take a rest.
That's true.
So in this book, it also taught me to find myself as far as my career is concerned, because immediately after that, I didn't want anything that is going to tamper with me psychologically.
Really?
That's how I felt, because I'm an educator.
Okay.
And I've had so much passion dealing with kids, to be precise.
Okay.
I went to school to manage the senior kids. But life has taught me within this short period of time to manage even the tender kids in a very mysterious way. Okay. So maybe let me just take you through what happened. So after we had come from holiday with my husband, there was a Canadian education fair in one of the 5-star hotels in Serena, to be precise. And so I had an eye for Thompson University in Canada. For some time now. So
to go and teach?
No,
or to go and study?
Advance and study.
Okay. Advance your studies.
Yes, yes. So as I was trying to find more news about it, I met one lady. She's called Zara. She's the sister to Ilhan Omar, the U.S. representative of Minnesota. So we were just having a conversation. She just wanted to understand where am I coming from, what has brought me there, and all that. So I told her, basically I have a foundation in education, but I do a series of things. I read books, I counsel people. Apart from just, you know, going to class, getting confined in a classroom environment, I also have passion for other things. I do art, I draw, yes, I sing, I have an eye for story writing, I write. So she really got interested in us knowing each other better. And
you were keen to sort of use all your strengths and your likes and create a new way of educating.
Exactly. Okay. And yes, because after my mom, as I said, after my mom's death, I never wanted to go back to anything that is going to make me not realize myself. I needed to get my own, like being my own boss in a way.
Were you in a classroom setting before?
Yeah, of course, okay. I've taught, yes.
So you didn't want to go back
I didn't want to go back to class.
All right.
But precisely.
But still teach.
But still teach, exactly. So I wanted to approach it from a different perspective.
Let's take a short break then. When we come back, we'll get to hear more about this different perspectives. Stay right there. All right, welcome back. Before the break, Brenda was telling us how, I mean, you've been an educator, and after losing your mom, I think after dark moments in our life, you want to adjust a few things. So for you, you didn't want to go back to that same setting. So what did you do differently?
All right. So after talking to Zara, she gave me a call the next day. Okay. I didn't know so much about her, by the way. Right. So she told me, we've just jetted into this country with my husband from Australia, and I have 2 toddlers. I'm wondering how I'm going to transition them.
I see.
Yeah. How do you come in?
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened after that?
So what happened? I went and met the family now.
Okay.
We actually created a relationship at first because I also wanted to understand child psychology. Good. On the flip side.
It's very important.
Yes. So when I met the kids, we assessed the best curriculum for them. Okay. Yeah. And we set the ball rolling. So we agreed how we're going to set up a school, sort of environment within the home, popularly known as homeschooling. Great. Yes. So for me, time is a factor, and time is of course money. So what I told her is that these are the considerable number of hours I can work for you. Okay. And there was a reason as to why I was saying that, because I needed to find, is there any other thing I can do for myself apart from, you know, just having the kids around.
I see.
Yes. So I managed to transit the kids. One was age 3. Of course, I had not begun school, and I didn't know how to read and write. I introduced him into doing that. Okay. Yes. And within 6 months, he was able to read and write. The other one was 7, of course. So I taught them the basic rather core subjects. That is, of course, English, maths, in the scientific world. And we did it pretty differently, not the normal way a school. I approached it from an individual sort of view. Yeah. Yes.
That's the great thing about homeschooling, together one-on-one.
Yes, yes.
How was the first experience for you? How did you
find
it? Coming from a class setting
to a home setting, sort of.
How was that?
What I loved about it is that it was giving me my own room to create my own system of, you know, imparting knowledge. Yes, as an educator. What is it that I can do apart from what has already been set for me? That's you know, like in education, we are using an already set curriculum, but in this case, I was assessing the kids and giving them what they need. Yes, exactly. Great. Yeah.
And what I like about, I think in post-COVID, most of us have either
that was 2020. Exactly. Or it was the normal norm.
Yes. Like now we're either doing homeschooling or we're doing something close to that. So since then, how has your life changed? How has that transformed? Has it grown? What's the response?
Yes, because as an individual, most of my friends are based on, I make friendship based on benefit in this case. Right. So like I met Zara, we're helping each other professionally. Okay. That's how our friendship began.
Got it.
Yes. So I also managed, unfortunately they had some issues to do, so they flew to the US, but that didn't leave me blank. Because we had already created a relationship with her friends, we'd meet, we would have coffee, we would discuss. They would also love to know, my child has this particular deficit, how would you think I would be able to, you know, manage a given type of behavior in my child? So in this case, I was becoming a consultant. Yes. So then I started thinking, is it possible to start an education consultancy firm? Yes.
So did you?
I'm in the process of doing that.
I see.
Yes, because my husband is a consultant, so we're helping each other. And I never wanted to deviate from my foundation. Okay. Yes, because I went to school to become an educator. And so I decided that COVID brought a lot of challenges to so many people, including the education system, sector. And so you find that
I think it brought room for many solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe some opted out. Yeah, but I never wanted to opt out because I felt like, yes, I've not really done what I needed to do as per education is concerned for me to opt out.
So you're officially a homeschool teacher?
Yes.
You could say that?
Yes. Yes.
For those parents at home who are thinking about the option, never heard of it, never tried it, what can you tell them as some of the benefits from your learnings? And when you see the children, you see a difference, what can you highlight for parents
It's awesome.
at home?
It's awesome because kids have different milestones.
True.
Yeah.
That's very important to mention.
Exactly.
Don't compare your kids.
Don't compare your kids with any other person's
That's
kids.
true.
And you find that we have individualized differences as far as kids are concerned.
Yep.
Yes.
They learn differently.
They learn differently. Yeah. Some learn through play, by the way. Some learn, okay, you know, most of them, for instance, we are living in a technological world and things are really changing. Yeah. Yes. Some would even some parents prefer that, I also have parents in the US, I have parents in the UK that I teach their kids online. Some prefer it online, as long as your work is commendable. Yeah. Yeah, it's through results that you're going to be able to get referrals, for instance. Okay. And it's a considerable amount of remuneration. So for parents who are opting this, if you're finding a challenge probably with your kid in a classroom setup, because it's usually assumed that it's either 1-2 teachers to a given ratio rather number of kids, like 40. So you feel your kid is not getting the correct probably skills that he or she needs, then you can opt for a one-on-one solution.
All right.
Yeah.
So far, what would you say have been your highlights and you've achieved?
I've achieved a number of things. I'm a quite diversified person because in this line of homeschooling as well, I also, from my friendship with friends, you know, as I told you that my link with people is out of what am I going to get from you? What are you bringing on the table? Are you bringing something new to me? So I also worked at the judiciary. Milimani law courts. Okay. Yes.
Doing what?
I know that sounds funny, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, a friend of mine calls me and asks me, like, what would you do? What's your day like? Then I told her, you know, I spend 2 hours in this place, I spend another 2 hours doing this, the rest of the hours I'm reading. Then she asked me, would you want to compensate or rather put in more effort or rather get something that is practically not in line with your educational foundation? Then I told her, okay, what are you talking about here? And then she's like asking me, I want you to take a course on data analysis. It was a Google course online. I want you to take a course for close to 1 month. If you find it interesting, then we are going to what? We're going to talk more about it. Then I was like, it's fine. Let me take this. After 1 month, I gave her a call. I told her, you know what, I'm done. What was it? What was all this about? Then she tells me that in my department, I need somebody to help me because I'm going out for some, like 8 months. So are you willing? I told her, of course I am. Okay. Yeah. So that's...
So you're flexible enough to do various things.
Exactly. Because I manage my time.
You manage your time.
And you know, like I told you, like homeschooling, kids are different. There are those who cannot actually manage 3 hours consistently in class. There are those you'd go, teach them 2 hours, you've done a considerable amount of job.
So from your learnings, from your experience so far, and also from this book, what would you say is your purpose now?
My purpose right now is to make a change and to affirm the fact that you have to create, make an impact into someone's life. Okay. What's your purpose? My purpose basically is I have to make sure that a child is proud of themselves. They bring out the best.
Bring out the best.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
How would you say life has changed for you since Mom's passing?
Since Mom's passing, I've seen God's hand. I give credit to God because I asked Him to walk with me, into transit me into this particular new, you know, name of not having a mom, not having somebody you'd always call every now and then. Yeah, I have a dad. He loves me so much. Yeah, but you know, mother-daughter bond is pretty different. There are things you'd always, of course, want to talk to your mom about, but she's not there. I got a great support system from my in-laws. My sisters-in-law they're just incredible. They just love me, you know. They call me their daughter rather than, you know, my sister-in-law. Yeah, so they've always been there for me. My mom also left me one aunt, her sister, surviving sister. She's also quite great.
So support system has been key.
Yes.
For your healing.
Yes, yes,
Great.
yes. So I would basically say that God has given me opportunities that I never saw before. Yeah. I went out of the normal norm of classroom setting, and I'm doing my own things.
Yeah.
And I can say that the kind of reward that I'm getting in terms of probably remuneration is great. It's just great. I go to sleep not worried about anything. I go to sleep knowing that I'm making my mama proud wherever she is.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. What would you tell someone as we wrap up who may have lost a close person? Could be their mother, a parent, or just someone close to them, and they're not seeing the end in sight. And you now, 2 years later, in a much better place.
Yes.
What can you tell that person at home?
Grieve when you can. Cry when you can. Most importantly, talk to your God in private. Have a personal relationship with your God. Yeah, sometimes you need yourself. And as I told you, for me, I'm pretty private sort of person, but I like my me time. I meditate a lot. I listen to so much podcasts. Yeah. If I'm traveling, if I'm traveling, I have either my earphones on or you've just tuned into something. I don't listen to them for fun. I'm meditating. Because I can fast, like I really need to know what is it like being me if I don't have any other person around me. Yes, because at some point, like I never knew my mom would leave. If any other thing is off you or is brought down from you, are you able to survive? So meditation really helped me a lot. And I wouldn't say that I was strong. I cried for quite a number of times when actually the memories. And then one thing also is I kept almost everything of hers intact up to now.
I see. You still have everything.
I still have everything of hers.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't want to let go of
No, why should I? Okay. You don't let go of friends, do you?
You don't.
No. If she created an impact in my life, I don't need to let her go. Because I usually feel like she's around me, her spirit is hovering around me, and she's watching over me.
I'm proud of you. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, too.
Thanks for sharing your story. We wish you all the very best as you discover yourself and grow into who you are and your purpose. Thanks for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
Asante.
Thank you.
At home, like you've heard, if there's anyone watching who may have lost a loved one, a special one, grieve. Allow for the process to just take its course. Don't rush yourself. Be kind to yourself. And you'll be here one day. You will smile and be able to talk about it, and we wish you well. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to Radisson in Arboretum for hosting us. Until next week, take care of yourself.